What if the premise behind time management is all wrong? See, we don't actually manage time, do we? Time manages us. There are 24 hours in a day. Sun goes up and comes down, and we inevitably go to bed because we need to sleep at some point within that period. And as long as we're living according to a normal circadian rhythm, we wake up in the morning when the sun comes up and we go to bed sometime after it goes down. That's time managing us, not the other way around. And I'm not saying this is just semantics or some goofy argument. This is generally a switch that I have had mentally to think about the way that we exist within time and reframe my perspective on my day. See, if you're anything like me, which you probably are, given the fact that you're watching this video and the algorithm decided that self-improvement content is what you like, you often feel bad at the end of your days. You feel like you haven't gotten enough done, like you wasted too much time, like you didn't spend your time as effectively as you could have. The problem I have with that approach is that it's a decidedly capitalist way to look at something that behaves nothing like money at all. When it comes to money, we can earn more, we can spend less, we can find jobs that pay more and create more money within our days. But we can't do the same for time. No matter whether you choose to outsource, to delegate, ultimately, it's still the same amount of time. You're just doing different things as the time passes. And so instead of managing your time effectively, instead of spending your time efficiently, the way I've started to think about time and time management is living my best life within the time that I have. Now that sounds absurdly simple, but when you really break it down, it's such a different concept from traditional time management. See, I used to take a traditional time management approach to just about everything I did. For me, it was about squeezing more and more productivity out of each day. But the truth is, we can't work all the time. None of us are robots, and that is not a fulfilling life, let alone a life that we can possibly live. We all physically need breaks. And so in order to actually break down the system of time management and present it in a way that's useful, I've devised a system that works for me. And it's all about doing more of what you enjoy doing and what's good for you, and less about what you don't enjoy and what's not good for you. And if you follow the system like I have, over time you'll start to see that you're not getting to the end of the day beating yourself up for not being productive enough, feeling like you left productivity on the table, but instead you'll get to a place where you feel happy and content about what you did each day because you know that you lived your best life within that 24-hour cycle that you had, and you'll be excited to get up and do it the next day. And if you think those are some bold claims, I completely agree with you, but this is the culmination of the past few years of reading self-help books, watching hours of YouTube videos, and trying to arrive at a system so I didn't end each day feeling like I could have gotten more done. Here's the system. So here's what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna go through this in real time as we do it. First, we'll just start by listing out every single thing you do on a given day. Essentially, what are all the things that are normal parts of your life that you're doing on a regular basis? From there, we're just gonna give two labels to them. The first is enjoy it or not enjoy it, and the second is beneficial or not beneficial. So those labels are gonna guide us, and the ultimate goal here is not to be more productive or just get more work done, but it's to find the things that you really enjoy and that are beneficial for you, and then find the space in that 24-hour cycle to do more of those. So I'll show you exactly how it's done, starting with my own life. So the first activity I'm gonna put down here is work. It's my 9 to 5, it's a big part of what I do. Do I enjoy it? Yeah, I do actually enjoy it. Is it beneficial? Yes. It makes us the money, it allows us to live. The next is parenting / family. So in addition to like being a parent, of course, there's just everything that comes with being kind of the primary stay-at-home caretaker. Do I enjoy it? Absolutely I do. It's probably my favorite thing that I do on any given day. Is it beneficial? Yes. It's the most important thing I do, no question. Next up is running. This is a big part of my identity. It's my main form of exercise. It's something I do just about every single day. And that's because I do enjoy it. And of course it is beneficial. Now let's look at what else I do. There's the creator piece. So I make a daily vlog that I post to Instagram Reels and TikTok. Do I enjoy it? Yes. Is it beneficial? Yes. It's creative. And then there is studying Japanese. This is something I do probably 3 or 4 days a week when I have time, because I do enjoy it and it is, again, beneficial. There's also reading. I at least listen to an audiobook every single day. I do enjoy it and it's beneficial. Then we're getting to a couple that might be in kind of the no. So for me, that's social media. I don't know why, but somehow I end up spending 1 to 2 hours on social media a day, whether that's just scrolling through random videos on Instagram Reels or watching YouTube videos I'm not really interested in. So do I enjoy it? Is it beneficial? No, it is not. And I think that's pretty much everything. I think the last thing I could put on here is cleaning. It's a little bit different from like family. Do I enjoy it? Not particularly. Is it beneficial? Yes. Okay, so there's the full list of kind of everything I'm doing on, if not a daily basis, on a weekly basis. You could get more granular than this. You could go into like grocery shopping, errands, like whatever it is that's relevant to your life. But for me, this is kind of the core set of activities that I'm doing on a week-to-week basis. So you can see here that most of it kind of falls into that double yes column. I enjoy it and it's beneficial. That's only because I'm at a place in my life that I've worked really hard to get to where everything is going smoothly. Up until about 2 years ago, it would have been a no for enjoying my job, but a yes for beneficial. So here are the specifics of what you should do, whatever your column says. So if it's a yes, yes, that is like the thing you should be doing more of. And any of these things where it's like, yes, yes, super emphatic, I want to be doing more of it, like maybe give those a star. So you can say like, okay, this is something I should be intentionally doing more of. That starts to give you an idea when you start to reduce the amount that you're doing certain things that you don't enjoy, then you kind of have more time available or time where you're not doing anything to be able to do the things that you're enjoying. Okay, so now we've got our list. Here's what we do with them. So to start, if you enjoy it and it's beneficial, do more of it to the extent that you can. I put yes, yes for my job. It's not really something I'm gonna be doing more of, right? I have pretty clearly defined work hours, but like that's a good spot for that task. But then there are things like the creator piece or studying Japanese that I enjoy it, it's beneficial, and I'd like to do more of it. So I start those. Now here's where you start to make changes. If it's something that you don't enjoy, but it's beneficial, then you wanna find a way to pivot or to change the thing that you're doing. So you wanna keep kind of the core category, but change it. Here's a couple examples. First might be your job. I think this is gonna be the case for a lot of people. It definitely was for me back when I was starting out in my career. My first job out of college, it definitely would have been a no for enjoyment, but a yes for beneficial. It brought in the income and it was something that I needed to do, but it was a job where I was working 9:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. It was overnight. It was very monotonous, not a lot of interaction with coworkers, didn't really feel like I was doing much meaningful work. And eventually I kind of came to my own conclusion of pivoting, right? I realized I'm not enjoying this, but obviously I need a job. So I started to pivot into an industry that I really enjoyed, which for me was marketing and just having that creative flow as I was doing work, something that was more dynamic than my current job. And now I'm lucky to have found a job that I do genuinely enjoy doing. Another example could be exercise. If you really want to exercise, you know it's good for your heart and your muscles, but you hate going to the gym or you don't like running, instead of just pushing through and trying to be disciplined, think about how you can pivot that into something that will put a yes in that enjoyment column. So maybe you loved playing sports as a kid and you pick back up tennis as a way to exercise, or you pick back up even something like pickleball, just something that's recreational and fun. Working out doesn't have to look the same for everyone. As long as you're doing something that you enjoy, that's much more beneficial than just pushing through. So now let's talk about those situations where something isn't working right. There's something that you enjoy that's not beneficial. That's kind of how I feel about social media some of the time. Like I like spending 30 minutes watching some random YouTube videos. Is it beneficial? Probably not, but do I enjoy it? Yeah. So the answer is not to get rid of those completely and try to replace them with something more productive, but just to do a little bit less of those things and a little bit more of the things you really enjoy. Really, there are endless ways you could go with this. Another that I'm thinking of right now is cleaning is something that I don't necessarily enjoy, but is beneficial. So a couple ways that I could go with that are paying for someone else to help me clean so I can free up my energy to do something else during the day, or listening to music or a podcast or an audiobook, something I really enjoy while I clean so that I can kind of balance it out a little bit. Essentially, once you have this schedule written out and what you enjoy, what's beneficial and what's not, then you start to set boundaries. So the boundaries should be designed to protect the things that are beneficial and enjoyable, and then kind of set limits on the things that aren't one of those categories. Here's what I mean. Since I do kind of enjoy spending time on social media, on YouTube, it's not something I'm trying to cut out completely. And so instead my boundary might be that I set a 30-minute screen time limit on my computer or on my phone so that I can't go over that. Or it might be that I just do it at certain times. I don't use it for the first 3 hours of the day, but then when I take a break from work, I can spend a little bit of time on it. Essentially, it's all meant to get you thinking outside of the system of trying to do less of the bad things and more of the good things. Instead, what actually works is just realizing how to live in alignment with the things that are both beneficial and enjoyable as much as possible, and being realistic about anything that isn't necessarily beneficial. But just trying to spend your days doing as much of those things as you can, regardless of how much money you make, how productive it is, how much you're working on your goals. If you can sit down at the end of the day and say that most of the things you did that day were both enjoyable and beneficial, then that's a great day. And it seems so obvious when you break it down and realize how much time goes into each of these things, to realize that in this 24-hour cycle, you might as well try to do as much as possible what's enjoyable and beneficial. We don't always break it down like that. We don't always see it holistically like that. And so it's super helpful to put everything you do into this system and figure out exactly how to calibrate where you put your energy to give you the best experience possible day after day. And of course, never forget that the present moment is all there is. So this isn't some grand rework of your life dreams, your systems, your goals. It's just a rework of the present, living more intentionally with this 24-hour period that you have, with this present moment that you have, making sure as often as possible what you're doing right now is both enjoyable and beneficial, and then doing that for as many days in a row as you can. So give it a try, put your activities into the system. Let me know how it goes. I'm super interested to hear if this is a helpful way of thinking about time instead of just trying to be more productive and spend your time more effectively. We get to exist in time. We do not spend it. It is not something to be earned and spent like money. So instead, we should just enjoy the privilege of getting to exist within this current time, in this current moment. Be grateful for that and live this moment as well as we can, and keep doing that as often as we can. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.